Hello everyone, this is Lolly. Today I want to show you how to make your own envelopes without an envelope punch board for any size of paper, of card or paper that you have. I have this stationery paper that I want to fold in half, and I want to start making envelopes pretty much consistently that this would fit into. So all you need to do is make a template that is a teeny bit bigger than this so that this will slide in and out of your envelope comfortably. So just cut some cardstocks and several sheets, glue it together, or use cardboard or chipboard. You want it to be rather firm so that you can keep it and use it as a template. Now, the measurements of this are very odd because, like I said, I'm just making my own shape here. There's not an even measurement. So this comes out to, and it just happens to come out this way, to 6 inches by, and it's bigger than 3 3 3/4, but it's smaller than 3 7/8. So it's just an odd shape, okay? So what you need to do is to cut a square of cardstock or decorative paper for your envelope. And the way to figure out how to do that is to look at the shortest measurement you have here. And like I said, I'm just going to round this off to 3 3 3/4. So you want to double that. That will allow for your envelope to go completely up one side and down the other, right? But you also need to add an extra 1/2 inch for a flap to overlap the bottom flap. So twice the measurement of this width, or height in this case, plus a 1/2 inch. So for me, that comes out to about 8 inches. Next, I'd take your ruler and look at 8 inches and look and see if that's what you want for the width of your envelope. This much flap to fold over this way. I think I want a little more, so I'm just going to make it 9, okay? So minimally, it has to be twice this plus 1/2 inch, and then eyeball it and say maybe a little bit bigger. Bigger is not going to hurt, so I decided to use 9 inches. Now I have this one, and this is what I'm going to use for this envelope. Okay, first thing, I have a piece of paper that I have lost, wouldn't you know? Okay, I will find it really soon. So what we do is we want to find the middle of this. I'm going to pause this. Okay, found my paper. Because this is an odd shape, it's hard to just measure halfway across and draw a line. So what I did was I also cut a piece of paper exactly out in this size, and then all I need to do is mark where the middle is on the top and the bottom and left and right. Oops, that wasn't very good. And that's right. And then just draw a line there. And this will save me from having to use really strange math to figure out where the center is on this. I do need to have this grid on there, and I like to have this grid on every one of my templates. I have a template for my mini envelopes, and now I have my template for this. And now on the back of this, I want to draw corner to corner. Wait, first I want to show you that I like this pattern, and I want that to be my top flap, okay? So I'm going to put that up there. And I'm going to draw corner to corner. Well, this is not quite long enough, is it? Okay, so I will line this up on the grid on my paper here and see if that helps me at all. To eyeball where about half of that is. And same thing here. I want to do top to bottom, but I don't necessarily need to mark the top. I just need this bottom part here taken care of. Like this. It's not going to work. Where's the... Oh, that's why I didn't line it up right. That's the problem. I was lining on the wrong grid. Well, come on. Wouldn't you know, I'm trying to do this for the camera and it's not cooperating. So somewhere about there. And then all we have to do is line this up to where these and this line up with each other. And I'm looking at it at an angle because of not wanting to get my head in the way of the camera. So maybe I'm not getting it perfect. Score around this. Indent it somehow. Okay. All right. And then I want to fold that in. Fold this in. Fold this in. And fold this in. Now you will notice, because I went a little extra, I went 9 inches instead of 8, that when this flap is going to be too long for my envelope. So we will trim that off when we get to the end there, okay? Now you've got here, where you scored, you've got these little diamonds right here on each side that need to be cut out. Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. We're going to just cut those out. And if you're going to err towards the cutting towards the middle instead of toward the outside. Okay. I would say, you know, once you've made one envelope with this, you would know what dimensions to make the paper. Like I said, I was thinking 9 might be good. I think I would go with 8.5 from now on. And I always write that down on here. So I'll write 8.5 inches is how much I want my paper to be. Okay, now you will see that if we fold these in, put a little bit of glue there, and fold this in, I always like to cut this off because that annoys me having that point there. So cut that off, glue these in there. Now what we have is the flap. I like the way this decoration is perfectly spaced there, but like I said, this is too long, so I would cut that off as well. And write myself a note that 8.5 inches is the way to go on this paper. Now you'll notice because of that we turned this square as a diamond shape, any pattern you have is going to be crooked. If you have a pattern like this and you want it to stay like this on your envelope and not be twisted, or if you would like an envelope with a completely flat flap, you can use the same dimensions that you chose for this one. This is still 9, maybe 8.5 would have been better, but we are going to go ahead and do the same thing we did before. Find the middle on both ends. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Lightly draw that. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just counting the grids on my mat here. They're very handy. Okay, same thing as you would line this up. Okay, and just like we did before, we're going to mark by scoring this so it folds really easily. And go ahead and fold that while we have it there. This is more of a lighter weight, but cardstock does work for this too. Okay, and the same thing, we have these squares that need to be removed. Now, it's very important with this one that instead of cutting straight along that, I actually lean in toward the center line here and cut at an angle on those. And again, lean toward the center and cut that out at a little bit of an angle. Lean toward the center. So you're not actually cutting out a square, or a rectangle on these. You're cutting it a kind of a strange shape. And this is just going to allow it to fold well. And this one and this one. Okay, so now when you have this, you fold your sides in, fold the bottom up, of course glue here, fold that up, and now you have this really pretty squared off flap, okay? And your image here on here is nice and straight instead of at an angle like this one is. They're both cute. Neither one is wrong. It's totally up to you. You can use a glue stick or liquid glue to close this up when you're ready to mail that off. And another thing that's really cute with this is you can use your edge punches to do a decorative edge on there, and you can also take some distress inks and ink that edge, and so it really makes a nice pronounced edge there. So again, just to recap, I would get, this is 3 layers of file folder glued together. Cut out the shape you want. It needs to be slightly bigger than whatever image you are going to put in the envelope to give you room to slide it in and out, okay? Then measure twice this plus 1/2 inch. And like I said, 8.5 would have been fine for me. I went with 9. It was a little too much, so this is just fine to do that. The length of these flaps on the side really isn't that critical as much as the lengths of the flaps going up and down. And if you have this odd shape like I did, just cut a piece of paper that shape, fold it to find the center so that you can find the center of this. Hope that helps you. I've really been enjoying this, and I have been saving every template that I've ever made so that I can use them really quickly in a heartbeat. And I have videos on making these 2 sizes here. But now that I've given you these instructions, you should be able to figure out how to make an envelope of any size. But just for your sake too, I will include the videos for these 2 small ones, and in one of them I gave you the dimensions for a little square envelope. Thank you so much for watching, giving my channel a thumbs up, and for subscribing to my channel.